Hello and welcome to episode, I believe, 165. I didn't look before this recording started, but I'm pretty sure it's 165. Um, we're recording late as balls this year week, so might be shorter episode, maybe a little lower energy.
It is 165, by the way.
So
You did
good.
it.
There you go.
It's almost like I post these
Your
pretty much
intuition is
every week.
incredible. 165.
It's
Round
almost
of applause. Applause.
breaking news guy who makes the thumbnails and puts the episode number on them remembers this week's episode number. But yeah, anime. Am I right?
No, you're wrong, actually.
Anime.
Anime.
This is anime, is something else.
This is actually Uma Musume
Did I do
podcast
anything
now.
this week?
Well, the
Oh, I watched Bunny Girl.
yeah,
That's what I did.
I did too.
Right, that is one of the things that we do. That's one of our shows.
For some reason, yeah. No, I'm kidding.
That's
For
the
some
one thing I
reason.
did.
For some reason, no,
For
I
some
like the show.
reason, AKA PK picked it.
And it's a banger.
It is good.
Episode 7?
Episode 7 was...
Episode 7 is like, we're getting into some weird territory.
Yeah,
Not
dude,
like bad weird. Not like bad weird, but like, now we're getting into multiple timelines coexisting. Like, we obviously knew from the movie that's like, this is a different timeline than like the beginning of the show, right?
Yeah.
But now we're actually having plot points that are like somewhat connecting the two timelines in a way where I'm like, this is interesting. How much are we gonna cook with the freaking Rascal multiverse?
Yeah, because, like, so far we've always seen them at multiple timelines, but so far we've never had anything that's like,
We never had them connect like this.
Right, well, the closest we've had was, like, Shoko in the first movie, where she as her
Yeah.
dead self came back. But we've never had, like, someone just hard swap with someone. It's always just, like, somebody came from the future or something.
Well, there's also now like not direct communication between both of the Sakutas, but it's like somewhat of communication between the two of them with the ending.
Yeah,
I
that
know it's
ending
just
was
kind
like,
of like a little message, but
Well, it wasn't
it's still
Sakuta
like, wow.
that sent that, right? It was,
No, it was. It was the
I
Sakuta
could have sworn it
from
was the other
his
Akagi.
timeline.
Let me look.
No, she gave it, but it was a message from him.
You're probably right. I was tired when I watched this movie.
Because the
message.
message
Yeah, it
was
says
that
from
Mai was in danger.
him, right? Yeah.
Well, she says it was from him.
Let's see, episode 7.
Let me see what he says at the end.
The end.
That's what it said on his hand.
Yeah, on the hand it
let's see.
says, "Find
Message.
Toko Kirishima. Mai is in danger."
Yeah, it doesn't say his name.
I'm looking at the wrong thing.
No, but read what she says before it. She says the message from you. For the you
Okay.
of the
I
other
didn't
timeline.
read. Okay, I read
Yeah.
the second hand, not the first hand. Okay.
Yes.
My brain probably
Yeah,
did
yeah.
was it took the message and then it took the 2 that's at the bottom and then put it up at the top, and so it's like a message to Asasagawa from over here or something like that.
I see.
I don't know. Anyway.
Yes. So it to me, even just like the two of them having a direct line of communication, regardless of how like this isn't really repeatable or anything, but it's still like a line of communication is a line of communication, even if it's just a one-time message. So it's kind of like a cool thing.
It's interesting because I mean because in the first movie they actually did talk, or like we had two different Sakuras talk to each other, but they're like in the same timeline, even if they
Yeah.
were two separate. Definitely opens up some interesting possibilities. I'm wondering what like danger Mai could be in. Obviously, she's connected to this Toko person in some
Toko
capacity.
Kirishima, yeah.
Because we also have like Mini Mai running around being a troll.
Still running around, yeah.
Yeah. It's it's interesting. A lot of interesting potential here.
Also, did he keep a magazine of mine in like his shirt or pants or whatever? Where
In
did he
case
pull
he
it
got
out from?
stabbed.
Yeah, in case he
Yeah.
got stabbed. Yeah, like
It was
around
in his
Yeah.
waistband.
Yeah, his waistband. When
Oh,
he like
okay,
lifts up.
waistband.
Yeah,
Yeah.
when he lifts up his shirt, you see it.
Yeah, yeah. Okay. Yeah, it was in his. Okay, yeah. That makes sense. I was like, man. Yeah, makes sense.
Yeah.
The little reunion scene was a scene of all time.
It was
Who would
definitely
mean
like
It's
by
not
that?
really like
like
it's
not a
not really
bad
a scene
It's
I'm
just like
supposed to like.
cringy.
Yeah.
Like you have to. It's like
Yeah.
secondhand embarrassment. You're like, oh man.
Like, oh god, we're doing this.
Show up to a family reunion, and someone comes up to talk to you, and you don't remember them. You're like, oh, yep, that's you. I remember you.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean,
So yeah, I mean it was a good scene. It's just like
it is interesting
yeah.
that like it's like the first time we ever seen like a mass group of people witness like something puberty syndrome. Like she just fucking appeared from thin air.
Yeah, that is true.
So it's like an interesting. I've never seen it on that scale. So goofy ass
This
universe.
arc also it makes me want to rewatch some of like the details of like how do I put it? Because of the way the movie is formatted, I don't particularly remember how like this Sakuta's life goes compared to like the one that we followed for the first season and 2.5 movies or whatever. Um, but it is this makes me want to kind of like re-go through some of that and see some of the differences in like the two timelines to feel like I properly understand like Akagi's existence. Because like I get the idea and the theory and everything that she's saying, but then I'm just like I feel like I've had enough time since the movie that I'm kind of like, well, is this timeline really that different just because of the lack of Shoko's influence on him?
Well, it's not even just that. It's like in this timeline or in the other timeline, he never like his sister. He stopped bullying like immediately, so
Yeah.
she never developed puberty syndrome, and then his mom never, like went crazy, and so he's like
Yeah.
pretty different person over there, probably like comparative to.
Well, that was like what she was saying is that like in the original timeline, the one we watched, he was kind of like the guy who just solved everything, and fixed all the problems was kind of how she described it. And then in the timeline we're currently in, which is the one without his puberty syndrome, if I understand the divergence correctly. So without the Shoko and everything like that happening, um, for
Yeah.
her it was like this is a timeline where she can kind of be the hero. Basically, was like my understanding.
Um, I have to go back to the episode again, but
This is it's not like that important. This is also me saying like this is why I feel like I want like a little relook
well, I don't
at
even know
like
if it's like it
the
has
movie
anything.
in the context of thinking about the timelines.
I don't know if it almost says like too much to. Well, I guess it has a bit to do with him, but I mean the reason she liked it, like
I mean,
both,
she specifically says
it is interesting that
that
like
like
both versions of her preferred the timeline where her life went like in a completely different direction.
Yeah.
Like rather than one getting sent to like paradise or whatever, it's the other was like, fuck, dude, like I got too many expectations, and go to the other place, and life is completely different. The other had expected more out of herself, and then yeah, I don't know. It's an interesting dichotomy to share with, because I mean, it's like an interesting thing Bunny Girl does is that it takes. We've had like multiple times now where like the same character will have multiple existing perspectives because of the multiverse shit they got going on. I mean,
Yeah.
like Futaba was an example from season 1, but I guess she wasn't really like a multiverse thing.
She wasn't like full multiverse,
She
but
split into two parts of herself that she kind of like didn't know which direction to go with, I guess. Or one's
it
wanting to
is
be in.
interesting how kind of like the second half of the Bunny Girl story has kind of played with like, instead of having totally new concepts, it's kind of played with like having similar concepts to what we've seen, but also different at the same time.
Yeah, we haven't seen anything like overtly like crazy. I feel like now that unless something crazy with like Toko happens, I feel like the height of like the insanity, I guess, of the different puberty syndromes is probably just going to be the first movie is like as crazy as it
I
gets.
with the this having kind of like the Toko Santa Claus handing out puberty syndrome plotline too, I feel like it'll be not as like crazy of things until we're at least dealing with whatever's going on with her. And I only say that because of like the time that it had to go through for like Toko's puberty syndrome to like become what it was, right? Or even like I don't know, I feel like all of the craziest cases of puberty syndrome we've seen have been the ones that like developed over large periods of time, not just the ones that like have
Prop up.
recently popped up.
Yeah.
And so I feel like the next arc, which feels like it's going to be another thing that just kind of like pops up somewhat, probably will also not be a crazy thing. But once we're kind of dealing with whatever the end game, like Toko Kirishima and what's going on with her, I'm hoping that's another one that's like more to the not crazy end, but like much more intricate. Because presumably, if it's like she's someone who's been affected by a puberty syndrome similar to what Mai went through, which is kind of like the reigning theory at the moment, is
Because she's
this
invisible,
idea.
right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
the idea that she's someone who essentially had the same or similar puberty syndrome as Mai,
Yeah.
but was never like saved from it.
Yeah, I
There's like a
think
lot of interesting implications with that.
yeah, I guess like my current theory, or not like theory, but like what I think might happen with the puberty, like with respect to Toko, is like I feel like at the end when her puberty syndrome like ends up getting addressed by the show, or
Uh
like by the story, I guess. Like I feel like it's just gonna be like a meta thing, like the nature of like puberty syndrome in general. I feel like because she's the one that's like supposedly handing them out, like I think like her conclusion or like when they finally address her, it's going to be like a whole meta thing of like the nature of puberty syndrome as a whole. Like that's to me, I feel like that's like where it's headed. It's just like kind of like a deeper,
yeah.
I guess, like deeper understanding of puberty syndrome in general. Because like, why would they like? Why would she be like handing out like her? The whole nature of her character is like so. Uh, I mean, it's just referencing like the
I mean, we
entire
just don't know anything
show.
about it. Yeah.
Yeah, so that's why I think like I mean my theory or speculation is like when push comes to shove, when we'll have to um, address what she's doing, I think there's going to be a lot about like the nature of puberty syndrome in general,
Hmm.
because that's like her core character at this point, at least that we know of.
I wonder if like there'll be a plot line of some sort with if it is true that she's gone through a similar puberty syndrome to Mai. I wonder if because they're both two like fairly large celebrities in the public eye in that regard,
Mm-hmm.
if there'll be some sort of plot line with kind of like her fame taking over Mai's and then kind of like passing on that puberty syndrome, kind of in like the idea of like an artist or a celebrity like fading away, right?
Ooh,
I
okay.
wonder if there'll be some sort of plot line with like
The
their
concept of
two
fame, I guess,
like
right?
fames kind of like competing against each other.
Yeah, that's interesting. I think
Because I was
initially
trying to
when
think of
yeah,
why Mai would be in danger. And there's a lot of reasons why Mai could be in danger, but I was trying to think of like what's a
Like,
fun plot line
because
with
the
that.
plot calls for it. That is an interesting
yeah,
way
Yeah.
of thinking about it, though. Like fading out, because she is like the celebrity, but like that never lasts.
These two are like the two biggest celebrities we know at the moment, really. And so I do find it kind of interesting the concept of like the lasting power of a celebrity and if that'll be something that kind of becomes a point of contention between the two of them.
yeah. It's actually funny you
Maybe.
mentioned that. I'm pretty sure, like when I first watched Bunny Girl Senpai, I forgot like when exactly the nature of like Mai's puberty syndrome was revealed. It's probably very early on. My memory is like terrible, but um, like my initial like evaluation of like what was going on within the first few episodes was kind of related to like the whole thing about like her being a celebrity and like the fame thing. So
Yeah.
it'd be interesting for it to kind of come back to that, or I guess not come back to it, but for it to go there in the first place.
I mean, if they wanted to go like the she is an antagonist type of route, it could be like that is kind of her only way to like come back. Essentially, is kind of by like
Forcing it onto someone
how do I
else.
want to word it? Yeah, kind of like using her fame to kind of like almost absorb like Mai's existence, if that makes sense.
She's gonna eat her.
I wonder
That's
if
why I don't know how to word it, but it's like the idea of how she's kind of like a faceless being, presumably because she can't show her face.
Mm-hmm.
I wonder
And I
if
wonder if that'll kind of
maybe
flip at some point.
in some time, because like Mini Mai, for example, is gonna figure into this in some capacity. I wonder if she is like the giver of puberty syndrome in some other timeline, and for whatever reason, she has made her way over to this one. And so,
Maybe.
I don't know. It'll probably be up to like Suck to like save both of them, assuming it
Yeah,
goes
I mean,
down.
I do, knowing this show, I do expect it to be a nobody's truly the villain type of plot line, but I could see Toko Kirishima being our like opposing force for a bit.
Dude,
But
if
I
I'm
think like in the
Sakta, I'm
conclusion,
like, give me the fuck out of this period of my life, so nobody has puberty
oh, for
anymore, dude.
real,
Get me out of here.
bro got to college, thought it was over.
It's like he goes a whole year without having any incidents. Like, fuck yeah, dude. Then they start cropping up all at once again.
Suddenly, Santa Claus is giving everyone puberty syndrome.
That pissed me off, dude. If like some motherfucker strolls around and giving it to people after I have like a whole year off from Scooby Doo shit. But yeah, good episode. A lot of implications. It'll be interesting to see how the next couple arcs go. Imagine I could see us getting like 2 episodes on the next one, and maybe 4 for the last. I don't know.
13 episodes total for this season, right? Or
It's
12?
hard to
13.
say.
We could get a 3-3
The
split.
problem,
But
The problem is they're all like single volumes, right? So I have no idea the content. But to me,
Right.
it's like presumably it's like the same amount of content as any other arc.
I was gonna say just because like we don't know this person at all that we're about to get an arc about. But
Yeah.
to be fair, we didn't know Ikumi either, and she got 4 episodes. So there, I don't know. I guess it probably depends on like, because the last novel they're gonna cover is Rascal Does Not Dream of Santa Claus, which is like the actual title of this season. So I just wonder, like, is there enough?
Like room to finish.
Yeah, I wonder how
So to be
important the
fair,
next volume is in terms of setting up the final volume, or if this volume isn't gonna be like that crazy, and then the last one will have more of a focus.
maybe. I was gonna say, to be fair, I do feel like because we're getting kind of breadcrumbs of
Yeah,
Toko Kirishima already, it's like I could understand the timeline where it's like that extra episode, instead of being like a full extra episode, is kind of just like spread a little bit more out within the season of like content that we're just getting for her.
yeah,
And so if I think of it that way, then it's like, well, it's not that this arc specifically was 4 episodes, it's that we've had about an episode's worth of like setup for the final arc by the time the first 3 arcs are done.
Let's see. What else? What else we watch? We watch Summary Card died, and then
Oh yeah.
oh, Takabe's gone, dude. Takumi being
We.
gone throws me off.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Like, where's our third show? It's like, oh, right,
it's true.
we don't have a third one because it ended.
Technically, we're supposed to have 4, but
Well,
I moved. And
I'm behind still.
well,
So,
we'll
we'll
get
come
on
back
top
to
of
anyway,
it
summer.
eventually.
We're gonna come back to Summer Pockets. It's gonna be like the
The
meme.
streets have been asking about summer pockets.
The streets, aka Mars. We're gonna come
Yeah.
back to Summer Pockets. It's gonna be the meme with the guy who walks into the pizza and the like apartment's on fire.
oh, I like that one. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then we'll
We're
go
gonna
back to
get
Witch Watch and
into
be
it.
like, yeah, we watched 5 episodes of Witch Watch. Well, 6 now. 7 by the time we record next.
Surely something happens.
Surely within 7 episodes that we haven't talked about Witch Watch, something will happen. Worth talking about, rather than, yes, we thought Witch Watch was funny this week. Moving on. Have you only caught up to Bunny Girl, I'm guessing, and not, Hikaru?
Yeah.
Oh no.
Listen, I've been sick.
Yeah, you sound sick. Yeah,
Yeah,
I don't blame you.
I'm sick of some shit too, and it's this fucking show, dude. This pissed me off
Yeah.
again.
I mean,
Ugh.
fair enough.
This
I thought
latest
this episode was like
dude, it was like
5% better than the previous ones, but
I
like
was
I don't
like,
know.
oh
Yeah.
shit, we hit the
So-
breaking point, and then we didn't. Then we didn't hit the breaking
And then we
point.
didn't.
We
Oh
were,
no.
we were,
No.
all right. So spoiler for the episode. Just
Is it?
I need to get this off my chest. So
Oh
That's
boy.
fine.
he fucking stabbed him, right? He stabbed him. We talked about the end of the last episode. I'm like, oh my god, we're back to the status quo. We hadn't truly reached the status quo, because he like took him around. He's like, hey, do you want to like ditch school? Took him around, gave him a good day, and then tried to kill him. It turns out stabbing the god did not kill him.
No.
He didn't stab in his chest cavity, which is where I would have stabbed. He tried to like stab him in the heart, but it did not kill him.
He's heartless.
And then he's like, well, I tried. And then he's like, I could never. I think we're at a point now where we're not gonna like go back and forth anymore, because he did say, like, I'm just gonna like accept you as you are. Like, I'm done trying to like decide anything different. And at the end, it looks like they may be mixed or whatever the fuck. I don't know.
Yeah, the ending was
composition-
very
the
confusing. but
composition
yeah.
on that left it a little open.
Yeah. Yeah, that
But
one is very
I'm
confusing.
hoping we don't return to status quo by the next episode.
That now we can start getting to
Yeah, because I mean
potentially more
we're seven
interesting plot
episodes
lines.
in, and I'm like, okay, you tried to kill him, proud of you, didn't work, and now you're back to square one where you're okay with him again. Um, but if he just picks a side, right, I think that means more to me than anything else could right now. If he just gives up on one thing or another, this is the expected outcome. I mean, you can only like give up on someone and come back to them so many times. He's like in the abusive relationship cycle here, but he's chosen to stay with him. I'm just I don't know, dude. I literally don't know where the show goes because sure, okay, let's say he accepts him as he is and doesn't try and kill him anymore. He's okay with him being a substitute. Now what? Like the guy is still on the
Yeah.
hunt. We didn't even get a whiff of the guy last time, so that guy's still on the hunt. But then what? Because like this manga is still fucking releasing. I know he's not gonna kill him, and so
Yeah.
it's like I just don't know where we go. Like I'm not invested in the plot of the show. I'm more my mind is always like, okay, what do we do? Rather than like, oh, I wonder how this is gonna like play out. There's nothing. I don't know what the fuck is gonna play out. It's
Yeah,
just
it feels very like. I mean, I think that's just an issue with like everything stagnating. Like it's just not progress. Like I can't feel invested in the plot if I don't like have an idea of the kind of direction of the plot, which I feel like currently I just don't. Like
Yeah.
even the ending of this episode, which was like in theory should be something major or like something like in theory it could be something important happening, but it's like
we don't know what the mixing
I don't even know
theory
what it
means.
means. Like,
Yeah.
like he's got eaten or consumed or I don't know, like merged. I don't know, and I don't have enough. Like the prior 6 episodes, and I guess the 7th episode as well, like did not give me enough context to what's actually going on for me to like actually understand everything. Like it's just very. That's the that's one of the. I should say the problem. It's one of the problems. It's just like I would really like to get invested in like some of the events that are happening. I think that's actually the biggest issue for me is like I feel like because the plot hasn't been progressing, I feel like I don't have enough like just straight up like prior knowledge of like or background knowledge of like what's actually going on. Um and so I
Yeah,
don't
that's
know.
fair.
It's just like I just I'm so confused and it's not like a exciting type of confusion.
Yeah, I don't know
It's just
if I'd say I'm confused, but I'm just like at a point where why should I care about what's happening in the show, right? And which
Mhm.
just goes back to like we don't know how like what kind of plot we're going to progress here. Like the show can only coast off like vibes for so long before I'm like, all right, now what are we doing? It's not like this is like a slice of life or something. This is a drama.
No.
This is a psychological horror thriller, just horror in general. But
It's just funny because like I'm not generally a horror person, but I just find myself like begging this show to like give me more of that aspect. It's not that the drama's bad, but the drama feels too like a little overplayed and repetitive right now.
I mean, yeah,
But like
I won't even say
even if there are
it's
horror
really
elements, it feels
repetitive.
like there's just like no stakes. Like I don't know. Like it's just I don't know. Yeah.
Yeah, like the stakes are like I don't really care about any of these characters. Like there aren't really stakes for me. Like if something were to happen to the main character, I wouldn't be like overly upset. Like, dude, if the main character died, I'd be more interested in the show than any other point in time during it since like episode 1.
I mean, maybe
Like,
he did die at the end of this episode. Who knows?
who knows? Maybe he has god powers now or whatever. I just don't know if I foresee or what I foresee happening here. It's like an interesting thought now is like looking at this key visual for the show now that the mixing theoretically maybe happened. Maybe it gives this a bit more meaning with like him, like his reflection relayed in the shirt, rather than
Yeah.
they could
Hmm.
also just mean literally nothing. But I don't know. I need to see. I don't know if I'll have like a full picture of how I feel about the show until the end of the season, basically.
Yeah, but I think that's not Like that's just not like if a show needs to be watched till the end to become good.
Yeah,
Like
I think I would agree. I think if the show has to be finished in entirety,
I'd say
it's a
well,
lot to ask.
it needs to do something substantial within the next not like handful of episodes, basically.
copium.
I
Surely
mean,
it'll happen soon.
surely it'll happen. I mean, dude, I thought it was gonna happen this episode. Like, I saw the knife, I'm like, holy shit, we're getting
Yeah, dude,
some
I thought like
development,
that
and
was
then,
gonna be like a new step. Like,
like, obviously, it wasn't gonna kill him, but like, I'm like, holy shit, maybe like things, like different shit happens, and then it didn't. I'm like, all right.
yeah, it's frustrating. And yeah, I mean, like with the no stakes thing, right? Like initially, like first couple episodes, right? I was like thinking, oh, the story's going to be about like him trying to figure out like, you know, how he can like I shouldn't say save his friend, but like um kind of like better understand the demon or whatever inside of him. And like, yeah, I just feel like that part has just gone nowhere. And like because they're doing a lot of like, oh, I shouldn't say they're doing a lot of normal things, but a lot of normal things are happening between them. It's like, why can't they just stay friends like this forever? Like, I don't know. Does it make a difference? Like that's what I mean. Like, there's just no stakes. Like, it doesn't matter. Like, neither of them is in danger. I don't think. It's like,
I
yeah,
mean, like the only like quote danger is like the hunter guy, right? And I mean,
yeah,
there's
I
like
guess, yeah,
the what's it called around like the ghost and shit, but they don't like feel like that big of a problem really.
yeah. You just get like 2 or 3 minutes of them
Literally,
in
the only thing
every
stopping
episode.
them
But
from
yeah,
just living a normal life with like a odd like well, odd is a one way of putting it, but a little secret between them. The only thing stopping that is like Hikaru getting his act together and like not killing people, which
Mhm.
theoretically should not be that fucking difficult. I feel like, but I don't. It's frustrated. It's not really having we're just waffling around,
Mhm.
loitering. Yeah. Started a new anime today, actually.
I saw.
Started watching the Rock
Oh
anime.
yeah, I never ended up finishing. I mean, I never ended up catching up to that. How do you like it so far?
The production quality's crazy, like really, really good.
Gochi the Rock.
Yeah, I did like it.
More like
The one episode I saw. One and a
Onimai the
half.
Rock. It's like the Onimai character design style.
Yeah.
It is studio bought, so that's how that'll be. But production quality is crazy on it. Say the only thing I don't like about it is the main character is like very punchable. If I had to put it anyway, she's very loud, screechy like creature. She's a creature, if there's any way to put it. But it's fun to learn about like the rocks and shit. Like it's just I like these little anime where it's slice of life with very specific like niche. You just learn a little bit about it.
Yeah, I do
But
like those kinds of shows. I
so
guess with like small.
I'm 4 episodes into it right now, so there's a few left for me to catch up. But
Gonna be geologist after this.
yeah, so I'm like, oh, it's a cool looking rock. I'm like, well, actually, that rock is a
Yeah, you can
tenacious rock.
nerd out.
I don't know.
I remember that from
I'm
science class. Yeah.
definitely not retaining any of this information, but I do enjoy what I'm watching. It's like me watching the pharmacy isekai. I'm like, oh, I'm learning about like diseases and stuff, and then I get to the end of that. I don't remember jack shit about that show. I could not tell you jack shit about diseases. Actually had this is like actually it's like trauma to me thinking back to I had a course, not a course, but like a section in biology class freshman year of high school.
Hmm.
Um, we had a test on diseases. We had a bunch of groups and we all chose like a disease and did presentations on it.
Oh, we
And
had that too. Yeah.
and then we had to take like my teacher put all the presentations online for us to study. We had to take a test on those, which at first doesn't seem that bad. It's basically just like studying from a textbook in a sense.
Hmm.
But then it was multiple choice, which is fine. We like multiple choice. It was A through K, 40 questions, and multiple letters could be correct for each answer.
What?
What?
I bombed that fucking test, dude. I
Yeah,
genuinely
what? Eighth. First of all, A through K is crazy. But
A through
yeah.
K. Multiple things could be right per, and I'm like, all right. So throughout my school life, I haven't put in a lot of effort. Throughout middle school, grade school, whatever, I didn't study for shit. And I generally got pretty good grades. I put effort into this. This is like Frieza training for the first time and he gets like gold Frieza form, you know? That's what I like thought I was gonna be. I bombed this fuck. I got like a 30 on this test, dude. Like
30 is
it
crazy.
was genuinely it had a curve on it too. Imagine your fucking freshman year of high school test having a super curve where it was whoever got the highest test score, my teacher would bump their score up to like a 96, and then everyone else, like however many points, like
Oh
let's say they
yeah.
got a
Like
90 and it goes up to a 90, everyone gets 6 points. And so
right.
that's
Yeah,
the kind
yeah.
of like it's kind of bullshit I was dealing with right there. Um, I
Yep.
definitely did not put enough effort into that class, and I feel bad like I was a poor student for that class, but that test was still bullshit because I did put the effort in for that one, and I just it led fucking nowhere, dude. Just didn't. I would
and
have
this
had to have
and this
studied for.
show.
I'd have to study on the level of like a fucking anime character or some shit who like only studies like actually just 6 hours a day every day for the rest of my life to like maybe pass that test.
And this show awakened those memories, huh?
No. Well, I mean, just now it did. Every now and then there'll be, I don't know, like I'll be reminiscing with friends like, oh, your biology teacher was crazy. I'm like, fuck yeah, it was crazy. Like that, genuinely, that class is harder. Like the test I took, some of the tests I took in there are harder than anything I've ever done for college or any other class
Yeah.
in high school. It's just, it was a lot.
Yeah.
But
Low
yeah,
key some yeah. Yeah. I've had that. Some high school classes are low key harder than a
yeah,
lot of college classes.
that
Crazy.
same teacher was he has an AP class as well for biology. Not I had an advanced class, but not the only AP we could take freshman year was
Uh-huh.
like human geology or some shit. Um, but he had like an AP version of the biology class, dude. I don't even want to know what the fuck was going on in there. If I was fighting for my life in the advanced freshman version, fuck no, dude. I imagine his AP class is probably harder than any college class anyone's ever taken in their life, bro.
Dude, yeah, I can. Yeah, a lot of my AP classes were harder than college classes, like for sure. But I feel like that's also like,
This is the point. Is like they're supposed to be like college classes, kind
yeah,
of
but it's also like you're a high schooler, so like your ability to like understand material is probably like a lot
way
less than it
lower.
is.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like this was like a thought experiment. My friends and I were talking about. It's like, um, if I went back in college, would I get all A's? Which sounds like really crazy, like because I didn't get all A's in college, obviously, but like I feel like maybe I'm like coping, but like I feel like if I go back with my like current knowledge, like knowledge base, and like or even without my current knowledge base, but like I know how to study better. I know like how to understand like problems better. I know like what to do to like get good grades or like
Right.
get better grades. Like no cope, I think I probably could get all these, which sounds like again, it sounds like really it has not much to do with intelligence. It just means like, or at least I feel that way. It's like I'm more experienced, I like know
Yeah.
what to do better, and I can just spend less time. Like I'm sure the way I studied in college, like especially years, was like absurdly inefficient.
Yeah.
Um,
I feel like if I went back to
yeah,
like even high school, I'd probably do better.
yeah,
Even like let's say I didn't study for anything, I do better in every single class. Except I think I would probably fail every math class I ever took because I just that's all gone now. It's the brain. It's out of here. Like I could
I
not.
feel like you'd be surprised how much you've retained after like actually taking a second to do it.
Depends on
Like,
what it
yes,
is,
I
but
think you
like
would
there are.
initially have that moment of like, I don't know what the fuck this is, but I think it would come back really quick.
I don't think it would. I think we're underestimating where Daniel of the Gochuucast math skills are. All right, so I'm gonna give a number, right? I got a 30 on the ACT. What do you think my math score
mm-hmm.
was?
Oh
22.
boy.
It was
I'll
a
do 24.
It was a 23.
Okay.
So that means your other score must have been like perfect.
My other scores were extremely good, but my math
You
score
wanna
Yeah.
know
was
what my
fucking
you
abysmal.
wanna know what you wanna know what my math score in the ACT was?
What was it?
35.
I
Yeah,
see.
mine
If
was a
I could have had that one little
Not to brag,
tool,
but mine was a 36. You know.
all right.
Yeah, of course.
I wish I could have.
Okay, but to be fair, I was like a math guy, so it's like, it's whatever.
I was never really a
I was
math
pretty
guy, but
balanced, but the problem with my ACT, I took it twice, and both times I underperformed what I think I should have gotten in the science section. So I
That
still
section was
had good
weird, yeah.
ACTs. I still had good ACTs, but like I had on one of them I had the 35 in math. On the other one I had a 35 in reading. I don't remember my English, but I think they were just generally okay. But both of my sciences were like lower than projected for me.
I got like left behind in math because what happened. So in eighth grade, this is really difficult to explain. I may as well have not learned anything. My teacher in eighth grade algebra had a method of teaching, and by method I mean she didn't teach shit. She would have videos of for us to watch. So it was like a work at your own pace math class, which is a really dumb idea to give eighth graders a work at your own pace class because nobody wanted. No, you didn't have to really advance. You just like maybe go one section forward every now and then, and that would be it. And so I didn't learn shit from that class. Because she didn't teach it really. She just kind of like showed videos and like maybe you could try and go ask her questions, but no one really liked her, so no one really did that. I don't know. It was just a bad class. But somehow I fucking like goobered my way into scoring really high in the algebra section of my high school placement test. And so I skipped algebra 1 and into algebra 2 without knowing algebra 1 really. And so
Holy.
I didn't know what the fuck I was doing. And I skirted past algebra 2. Everyone takes like geometry in sophomore year.
Right, yeah.
And then I was in a pre-calc. I really didn't know what the fuck I was doing in pre-calc. And so I ended up taking statistics my last year, which was an up and down roller coaster. I either really understood what I was doing in statistics or I had no fucking clue. But yeah, there was never a point in time where like math like clicked. If a section made sense, it would like I would be really good at it, but I just could never remember the formulas. I don't know, I'm just never good with math.
Yeah. It seems like I think one problem with math is like I feel like if you because math builds on itself, if you don't understand like one concept, like everything else after that has like the potential to go wrong because if you don't just like you don't understand like a previous concept and then you have to use it and that becomes the foundation of like learning the next thing and then the next thing and the next thing, it's like you miss one step, it's like you're kind of fucked, like Loki.
Yeah.
That's like the biggest thing I see with like people um, who like might struggle with math. I mean, obviously there's multiple reasons, but yeah, that seems to be like a big thing. It's just like there's not enough, or like for other subjects, it's just like even if you don't do well in like one part of it or you don't completely understand one part, it's like you can kind of get around the other parts. But math, it's like if you don't understand 2 plus 2, it's like how the fuck are you gonna do multiplication, right? So
Right.
yeah. Okay. I have like actually an anime related thing. Wait, PK, have you I think I checked this on AnyList. You've seen the show I Shield 21, the football show, right?
Yes. Yes.
Okay. So this is like I actually
There's so many directions this can go. I suddenly am paying a lot of attention because
dude,
there's so many different things people can say about Ice Shield.
No, okay, so because I went to your AnyList the first time. So I recently I guess it's not recent. I guess since December, I've really gotten into like lifting weights and I've been doing that like 4 or 5 times a week, which has been good.
Okay.
And obviously, whenever I get into something, I like tend to consume a lot of content on YouTube about it. And one like bodybuilding slash weightlifting content creator that I've really gotten into is this guy. He's just like this French dude named Natural Hypertrophy. And in his videos, he talks a lot about like lifting, obviously, but he has like a lot of like philosophy type videos, and he references anime a lot. Like he's a big fan of um, anime in general and manga, and he's read that throughout his life. So he always tries to like incorporate things. And yeah, like the reason I mentioned this is because he mentioned Ice Shield 21. He had like an entire video, like, you know, people like the different characters in the show, or I mean, he was referencing the manga, same thing. Um, the different characters in the show had like different, I guess, like attitudes or outlooks towards life, and um, he's talking about each of them and like how you can like apply their lessons to like your everyday life. Like I forgot the characters' names, their um their
I feel
exact
like this
things, but
applies. I feel like this applies to like. I mean, a lot of anime in general, but especially a lot of sports series,
mhm,
because the medium is so contained when you're dealing with a sports series that
mhm.
you just naturally get so many different personalities with different
Yeah,
motivations for whatever the like combined passion is.
right. Yeah, there's like I forgot the names, but there's like one character who is like um kind of crippled, or not crippled, but he had some like he was like very weak and
Mm.
small, and he like despite that he had like a really good attitude to
I mean, that's probably
training.
Senna.
I think it was somebody else, but Senna he
It could
also
be
like
somebody
mentioned,
else. It could be someone
yeah,
else, but like that's the whole Senna like Eye Shield
yeah,
21
Senna also he mentioned
thing
like,
is
yeah,
the fact that Senna is this like
he's
generally
bullied, right?
pretty unassuming kid. Yeah. Um
Yeah.
but he's also in secret like the Eye Shield 21.
Mhm. Yeah. So, no,
I
and
don't
then like,
like remember
yeah,
all of the characters by like name or even specifically stuff like that. It's been a while, but like I generally remember a lot of like important scenes and moments and stuff like that.
yeah. So I like watched the entire. It was like a freaking hour and a half long video about like the characters and their outlooks towards life. And then instant I finished it, I went on the AniList page, and I'm like, oh, because like I know you like sports anime and manga, and I was like, oh yeah, you've seen it. So
Eye Shield 21 is one
we're
of the
like,
first ones I watched. Fun
yeah,
fact. It's one of the
yeah.
first sports series I watched for anime. And
It
I
is
will
very interesting that
say,
they adapt American football. That's it just seems
well,
like very, yeah.
well,
Well,
it is a version of American football.
a version.
Um
Oh, like,
it's because of the way manga and anime has to be. I don't think it's all like lies in the fault of the series, but there's a like several inconsistencies between the series and like how the sports actually played,
oh sure.
which is fine. But I think the big thing I always liked about Eye Shield 21 was the characters, so this makes sense. I think its depiction of football is okay, but I think a lot of other sports series depict their respective sport a lot better and more accurately.
Mm,
Um, Eye Shield 21 also has some crazy character tropes that it gets into.
It's also
It's a little racist.
a little
Yes.
racist.
That's what I just said,
totally.
but I was trying to be like
Yeah,
nice-ish about it, right? Um, but it's good. And I mean like I agree with the fact that there's like tons of characters in Eye Shield 21 that have like very different outlooks and personalities. And it is a series that I like enjoyed a lot. I just also am like, I feel like that statement kind of can apply to almost all sports anime because of the fact that it's so contained in like a single medium that it's like, if it's done well, there should be a pretty big cast of characters that are all like fairly different but also united towards whatever their goal is at the same
Right.
time,
Yeah.
right? I think some do it better than others. I think Haikyuu, the characters that are different are like very highlighted, but there's also a lot of characters in Haikyuu that are just very similar in the way that they think, so that might not be one. In this example, I use too much, but I would also say like the characters in Haikyuu that have the very different mindsets are like also very highlighted by the plot. But then I might think of something like Ace of Diamond, where there's just like a ton of different personalities and they're all very different, but they're all like on the same team or competing against other teams. That's another one that I think of where it's like there's just a lot of personalities and dynamics to kind of absorb from that. There's kind of like a person for anyone in that show.
Yeah. I do think that like that works really well, right? Because like when you're not, especially in team sports, because it's like when you're on a team, you have like a bunch of different personalities. You have to try to work, with them, and then also it's just like sports in general is just like very. There's a
I
huge
mean, that's kind of what
psychological
sports
element
is
too.
about.
So
Yeah.
it's like that kind of is the perfect breeding grounds, the wrong word, but it's like the perfect environment, I guess, to have like different personalities with different attitudes towards the game and life in general. So, which makes for like very diverse opportunities to write like a bunch of diverse characters. So, yeah, that is like definitely the environment is like a that's one
I'm of
positive
the
part
opinion
about
I'm
sports.
of the opinion that anyone who is an anime fan that cares about character and like character development and stuff like that should at least try one like large cast sports series. I
Mhm.
think there are different ones that would do better for various people. I think Haikyuu's obviously the most popular. I think it's the most well-rounded for a lot of people, but I do think like the really well-developed, like big cast sports series definitely have things for even just the average anime fan, even if you're not someone who's really into sports.
You know, and in a sense, Uma Musume is a sports anime with a very large
In
cast.
a sense, Uma Musume is in fact a sports anime with a very large cast. However, there's not a ton of character development in Uma Musume. There is some.
It depends on who
You
gets to be the main character for
It
that too.
depends on who's the main character for those 3 episodes. Um, I think the difference is uh the more side characters. Not like the super side characters, but like for example, if I'm using Eye Shield 21 or Diamond No Ace as examples in comparison to like Team Speaka, right? What percentage of Team Speaka do you feel like you've gotten real like character development for
Okay, so starting
and
off,
moments?
KO
Probably
obviously.
most of them.
Yeah, everyone except for Vodka and Daiwa Scarlet, I would say.
Yeah. We've had like one major gold chip moment I can think of.
Yeah, Goldship had like season 3 moments, I would say.
Yes. That's fair. Um I've seen at least the race at the beginning ish of season 3. I guess more towards the middle. Um but yeah. So then if we're putting it under that lens, okay, you get the development of Spica and like a few other like major rival characters in a similar way. And something like Diamond No Ace, you at some point will get development for pretty much everyone on the main team and all of the main characters on the rival teams. And even some of the main characters on like just the random teams. that you see once in a while.
Right.
So, like, in the context of Uma Musume, Team Spica has a good amount of development for it. But in terms of the other teams, to use Team Regional, for example, kind of like the main rival for Spica, in theory. What percentage of Team Regional would you say you've gotten some sort of good development or character for
I
out
don't even
of the
know who
11
all is on
members?
Team Fucking Regional. I have to
Here,
look it up.
we'll go through the list. Air Groove. I
No,
vaguely
absolutely not.
remember her racing in season 1.
Yeah, no, she
Uh,
does not like appear, and pretty much she appears a bit in season 3, but not enough to like be a character really.
yeah. Condor Pesa.
To an extent,
Honestly, I'll give it. Grass Wonder.
I'd
I'll
say
kind of
yes.
give it.
You just pick
Symboli
crazy
Rudolph.
names.
A
Okay,
little bit of an asterisk on Symboli Rudolph
Symboli Rudolph,
because of who she
in
is.
well, it's into because she has like moments with throughout like pretty much all of Uma Musume. But I'd say if you haven't seen Cinderella Grey, she's definitely more of a character so far in Cinderella Grey than
That's fine.
anything else. So I'm gonna count it even because it's part of the Uma Musume universe.
Okay. Taigi Shuttle. As far as
Absolutely
I
not.
know, as a Taigi Shuttle fan, barely
No.
even shows up.
It shows up like a couple times in season 1, basically.
Yeah. Opera O. I haven't seen the series with her, but my
Yeah,
understanding she has a pretty
she is
decent
within the
amount.
OVA, and then she's in the movie too. I would say yes.
Yeah. Another one of my favorites who gets no content, Narita Bryan, currently on Banner.
Yeah,
Hishi Amazon.
she's like she's the goalpost, you know,
She is the
the
goalpost. Okay.
official
Fair.
goalpost.
Official code. Fuji Kiseki. I'm not even 100%
So
sure where I've seen her.
she shows up. She actually has character development in the movie.
Okay. Maruzensky. A little bit,
She
maybe
a li-
another of a gray area.
she's a Cinderella Grey character, so it's a little awkward, but
That's valid. And then there's another one on here named Daring Tact, and she doesn't have a proper like.
I've never heard of Daring Tact in my
She
life.
doesn't have like a proper like profile on here, so I'm kind of. This feels like a. She first appeared on the still picture in the story mode's final chapter at the back of Special Week as an extra.
Okay, looking at
That's
her
not
picture,
helpful.
I've never seen her in my life, so we can just pretend like this never happened.
Yeah, we're not gonna count her. So about like half of regional, probably, by this logic. Maybe a little more. Nah, I mean half's somewhat fair. Maybe 6 of 10. I forget the point that I'm trying to prove here. I think the point I'm proving here is you're not wrong,
Yeah,
but
I think the
also
point is
Uma Musume Uma
maybe doesn't get as
Musume
much as other some like
doesn't
bigger
do quite
casts,
as
but
much,
well, I would
but
say we're
also
just looking
has.
at the well, yeah,
We are
Uma
just
Musume has
looking
more
at the
like
show.
token characters, I guess, as opposed
Yeah,
to
but Uma Musume is also a gacha designed to shit out characters.
yeah, you know, you said earlier there's a character for everyone in these types of anime, but you know what? There's a Uma Musume for everyone.
It's okay. Nobody is a fan of Fuji Kiseki. Probably
The
not true.
one Fuji fan in the world is gonna come for you now.
You know, if the one Fuji fan is also listening to this podcast, I'll eat my words. Because think of it this way: if we were listened to by like tens of thousands of people,
Right,
I'm definitely fighting a Fuji fan, right?
right.
But with the amount of people we like have an outreach to, even if this episode is on the upper end of what we reach out to, if I still find someone who's willing to claim Fuji Kiseki as one of their favorite Umas, that's like almost worth the backlash.
I'm
just because it's
sure
funny.
there's some gooner out there that likes her a lot because her racing outfit is a little more out there than the other
Is
ones.
it?
Yeah, she's got a showing some skin in a specific area.
Oh, I see. She's got a tie.
Yeah, the tie is doing a lot of
The
lifting
tie
there.
is doing a lot of work here. Um. Anyway, you've also seen. I don't know where I would put Awashi in this context. It's like spiritually the same type of show as what I'm talking about, but it's definitely a little
To be
not
honest,
necessarily
I don't
smaller of
remember
cast.
a single thing about like any rivals from Awashi except for like the one guy who was on his team in middle school or some shit.
You get there, but I'd also say it's like smaller scope than like Ace of Diamond is probably. I mean, Haikyuu has like smaller main team than a lot of other sports, since a volleyball team is obviously smaller than a baseball team or a football team. Well, in the context of iShield 21, that's partially true. But regardless, uh, and because of that, Haikyuu kind of almost every major or even half major volleyball player that appears in Haikyuu has some sort of moment, is kind of the trade-off there. So it's like less of a big, really important cast and more of a wide arcing like net of characters that have some sort of meaning and importance to them.
I thought the cast. Well, I've only seen season 1, but I thought the cast was interesting enough. And it's like, yeah,
It is. I just think in the context of this, and I love Haikyuu. It's my second favorite sports series of all time. It is. I think it was previously in my top 5 manga. I think now it's sitting closer to like 6. Let me look. I have it listed. It's 2. That's probably wrong, but it was 2 at one point. I haven't reordered my manga for a while, but I'd say like Awashi's probably past it. After that, there's some debates. Regardless, top 5 manga of all time for me, at least at one point, potentially still. I haven't thought about it too much. It's been a while, but I only use that as the context of like I feel like in terms of like life lessons and outlooks, I feel like a lot of the Haikyuu characters maybe align a little bit more than a lot of other sports series in that regards. So in the context of what you're talking about, I'm like, it's not that I think there would be less in that regard to gain from Haikyuu, but it's I think there are other series that deal with much more dramatically different characters than Haikyuu does. And there's exceptions to that sentence, obviously, but on average, I think there's a lot more similar-minded characters in Haikyuu than like iShield 21, for example.
All right. I don't think I have anything else to say. There's the Sekiro anime that we probably talked about when it got leaked.
oh my
Got
gosh,
announced.
oh my god! When I saw that the trailer, I was like, "Yo, we got to talk about this." And then I think
Is there a trailer?
Yeah, there's a trailer
yes,
for it.
yes.
Should I go watch this?
I actually, Loki, want to watch it.
Sekiro No Defeat.
Yeah, Sekiro No Defeat.
Okay, let me. The 1 minute trailer.
Yeah, there's some pretty clean drawings in there. We'll have to see how the full product goes. Because the studio that's doing it doesn't really seem like they've ever done like a full-on project. But
I kind of like this art style.
yeah, some of the you'll see some of the drawings later through the trailer that like look extremely good, honestly. But But yeah, I mean, looking at their past works, they've really only done like music videos and stuff like that. I think they've also worked on some openings for other anime. If you like go to their website, I think I took a quick look at that. They like Hell's Paradise's opening, which looks really good, but it's just an opening as opposed to like a full production. So
This looks pretty good.
yeah, we'll see. It actually already got into some controversy because apparently the company that is doing the anime like wants to do stuff with like generative AI, but then
Ah,
which is obviously not ideal, but it probably has nothing to do with this project. But because of that, obviously
it's still, yeah.
people have been on edge. But then also some like bot Twitter account that one of the fucking engagement farmers that no one likes posted like a frame from the trailer that kind of looked like there's a six finger, but like if you know anything about animation, like taking one still frame, like you can take plenty of dog shit still frames from anime and try and nitpick them. But also like an actual animator like quoted their post and is like, you're just completely misinterpreting what this actually looks like or what this actually is supposed to be.
Yeah, I'm reading a post on AnyList that basically someone posted it was like, oh, they're using AI for the in between frames, and I'm reading a comment on it that's basically like, no, this could not have been generated by AI for like these technical reasons.
Basically, people are taking
Like
like
in this
in
project.
betweens
Yeah,
and
yeah.
like smears. There's all sorts of like stuff that there's a lot that goes into animation, but people like see a still frame that looks a little off. They're like, well, this must be like the worst thing ever.
This
Like
must be AI.
this one
Well,
single
and
frame.
my problem with this is people not knowing what they're talking about and just talking
We
in this
need, dude.
case.
Twitter Blue is actually like such a cancer on information spreading. Like genuinely, it's just because like people will just like even if they don't believe it, people can just like throw out something they know is gonna get likes and attention, so they can get a little, they can get a couple extra bucks from Pappy Elon. I don't know. I hate that shit so much. The internet's in such a bad place.
Elon Holy.
Yeah, I don't know. I wish people would stop
I have
interacting with it.
such yeah, I have such mixed opinions with AI in general. And we've had a lot of different conversations with it. I'm sure if you go through like all of our different AI conversations, you've also kind of heard like how our opinions have formed and changed over the years as well.
Yeah, I mean, it's like as simple as like I think generative AI like leave the creative stuff to people and then let the AI do like
Yes.
the really like specific, because like there's a lot of technical, we talk about this ad nauseum, there's a lot of technical things that AI could be extremely useful for, especially like I think like the medical field is like one of the big ones people talk about, but
Yes.
instead people are trying to evolve AI to like do videos and
Do
movies,
the
and it's
things that we don't need it
like we don't need
or
it to
want it
do
to
that.
do.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
it's just like soulless and ugly, and it's not needed.
I just think my issue on like the surface is this kind of like general toxicity towards AI usage at all that kind of currently exists. And granted, a lot of it is because we are specifically engaging with and in fields that are innately artistic. And in a lot of the cases, it is cases where it's like AI being used for like creative measures, which is generally we don't want. But it's just this concept of like even the mention of like an anime studio using AI in some form before we know what it would even be used for is like sacrilege.
Because it just comes down
Right.
to like what it's being used for in the process. Because if you think about it, right, if you use like the fill paint bucket when you're drawing and coloring, like that's a form of like an AI tool,
It is
basically.
essentially.
It is basically an AI tool that is determining what space am I clicking on. Is there a circle around it? Okay, cool. I'm putting all the fucking colors in here. It's like they could have something like that and it be useful, and people would not need to get mad at it. I'm sure there's like a million and one tools that are out there right now that people use, but yeah, as long as the AI
Yes.
isn't like dead ass just generate, like it's like we talked about like some anime that have like generated the entire all their backgrounds with it. That's lazy as fuck, and goes against the entire concept of what anime
Or,
and or
oh,
art should
yeah.
be. But yeah,
Yeah,
we talked about all this before though, like a billion times. So
yeah. I think my issue is just like people not taking the time or looking into anything in terms of context with it, and just going straight to like AI bad, should not be using it. And in this context, that seems fine. Although I don't fully understand the studio's like stances and everything that people are responding to.
I'd have to look it
So
up
that's where
again,
it's like
but
my
like
specific, yeah, that's where it's like my specific opinion on this case could be different than that, but it's just kind of the general. I don't like how like the mention of AI is just a like automatic bad thing for people right now, because at the end of the day, this is a very useful technology if we are using it correctly for
Yeah.
like progressing a lot of things in society. It is a big if.
let's see
Yeah, it looks like the
on their
consensus most people have said is like it looks unlikely that they used anything generative for this specific project, which is what you said.
yeah,
But
so what they say on their website apparently is we are actively developing technology with the goal of maximizing the value created per second by all those involved in anime production. We challenge the conventional wisdom of existing methods, collaborate with partner companies with high technical capabilities, and utilize the latest technologies such as AI to evolve production processes and expressions, thereby bringing about digital disruption in the anime industry. Now, a lot of that is corporate splooge,
a lot of that is
but
just, yeah.
I don't know. There's like nothing specific enough in there that like to say anything. Like it has like the potential to be concerning, but they're not saying straight up like, yeah, we use AI for fucking literally everything right now. They're like, we are looking into using more technologies that will help us speed things up. Now, if they use generative AI like a shit ton, obviously it's a problem, but if they use the fill paint bucket, it's I don't think anyone cares. But, well, to be determined. We'll revisit this topic in 5 years. See what happens.
It's also just like in the case of this, right? Like it's pretty likely they did not use like a fully generative AI for this. It's possible they use some sort of like lesser AI to help with the process, but that type of stuff in theory is not innately bad. And I say that carefully because I don't know what kind of umbrella things I could get caught up underneath that. I'm sure there would be at least one thing that someone could like look into and be like, "Oh no, this thing is bad." And I'm like, "Oh yeah, I didn't think that would be included there." But it's just like even in the context of art and animation, I think that there are useful ways to use AI that aren't just strictly infringing on the creative process, I guess is my point here. And whether this company did or didn't do something like that is kind of a moot point. But it's also like, well, we could at least find somewhat good evidence that they didn't use the type of AI that I think would be really damning in this case.
I think it's using your brain is a pretty good start. I don't know. It's oh my god. I hate. I don't know. There's just like Twitter accounts that I see crop up, and I'm like, this is like one of the dredges of the earth right now. Like this guy specifically, I see him too often, and I don't know. I should not be able to
It's just
see a Twitter account and roll my eyes and go past it. Like I
like
fucking
Twitter
hate that.
Twitter accounts just hating on everything AI just feels like this generation's version of fucking Verlisify and Pokemon stuff.
That's
Well,
a
it's not
crazy
even
comparison, bro.
there's a lot I could go into right now, but I'm not going to because it'd make a number of people upset. And there's no easy way to talk about my feelings on the topic of certain communities online.
Mm.
But Yeah, maybe after I hit stop record. But I certainly have opinions that on certain people and groups of people on Twitter that I find annoying, but you know, it's how it be. Anyway, that'll be the end of this episode. If you enjoyed, remember to like, comment, subscribe, rate 5 stars, all that good stuff. If you're on YouTube or audio only, it's the same thing. Easy Order, an anime podcast. We are the only one, can't possibly miss us. Every Saturday, 3 p.m. EST without fail, except for when we do. There will be a new episode out for you to enjoy. So once again, thank you for listening. We hope to see you in another episode. Goodbye.